Welcome to today's video, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 explained. For we walk by faith, not by sight. This verse from 2 Corinthians emphasizes a key element of the Christian life, which is living by faith. Paul is teaching the Corinthians that as followers of Christ, we are called to trust in God and His promises, even when we cannot see or fully understand them. Faith is the foundation of our relationship with God, and it is through faith that we navigate the challenges, uncertainties, and trials of life. When Paul says we walk by faith, not by sight, he is encouraging believers to live their lives based on their confidence in God rather than relying on physical evidence or circumstances. Often, our eyes deceive us, and situations may seem impossible or overwhelming. But faith calls us to trust in God's plan, even when things look bleak. God's promises are trustworthy, and even when we cannot see the outcome, we can be assured that God is working all things together for good for those who love Him. Living by sight means depending on what is seen, tangible, and easily understood. However, as believers, we understand that our current reality is not the final reality. This world is temporary, but the promises of God are eternal. Faith requires us to trust in the unseen, in the hope of the future, and in God's perfect timing. We may not always understand His ways or see immediate results, but we trust that God is in control, guiding us toward His purposes. Walking by faith also means believing in God's presence and power in our daily lives. Even when we cannot physically see Him, we trust that He is with us. Faith helps us overcome doubt, fear, and anxiety, knowing that God is always near. It encourages us to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems unclear or difficult. Faith gives us strength to persevere, knowing that God will never leave or forsake us. Furthermore, walking by faith challenges us to let go of our need for control. In our human nature, we often want to manage every detail of our lives, but faith invites us to surrender to God's will. Trusting in His sovereignty, we can release our worries and anxieties, knowing that He has a perfect plan. This does not mean we ignore our responsibilities, but rather, we approach life with a heart of trust, believing that God is directing our steps. This verse also highlights the importance of keeping an eternal perspective. As Christians, we are not living just for the here and now. We are citizens of heaven, and our faith is grounded in the reality of eternal life with Christ. While we may face trials and struggles in this world, our hope is in the promises of God that transcend this life. Walking by faith means focusing on what is eternal, not getting discouraged by temporary setbacks, and keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. In conclusion, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 reminds us to live with a deep trust in God. Even when we cannot see what lies ahead, faith gives us the confidence to move forward, knowing that God is with us and that His plans are good. We are not alone in our walk, and as we live by faith, we can experience the peace and assurance that comes from relying on God's wisdom and guidance. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with others, and leave a comment below. May God bless you richly as you continue to walk by faith, not by sight.